Hi everyone, Per from Into Fly Fishing, and welcome to the second video in our Stillwater series. In the previous video, we looked at the basic Stillwater setup you need to get you going. In this tutorial, we'll be covering some basic techniques that will definitely help you catch more fish. These techniques can be used from either the shore, off a float tube, or a drift boat. Before we dive into it, I would like to encourage you to leave any comments or questions in the comment section down below. Our aim is to help you grow in fly fishing, so we'd love to cover any topics you would like to see in future. The first topic I would like to cover isn't really a technique, but rather the way we set up our leader. You see, one of the biggest challenges a stillwater fly angler faces is finding where the fish are feeding or holding and what they're feeding on. Well, if we could find a way of covering more of the water column while we're fishing, we'll probably find the fish, right? To get this right, we either fish 2 or 3 flies, which allows us to cover this wider range of the water column, and it also gives us a way of searching or looking at what the fish are feeding on. Before you do this, please make sure that the specific body of water you're fishing allows for this leader setup, as I know many private waters, especially where I come from, prohibits the use of 2 or 3 flies. Now, to attach 2 or more flies to the end of your tippet section, we use the same knots as we covered in our dry dropper rig video. If you're a new fly angler, I'd advise against using multiple flies, as you find that you'll spend more time untangling flies than actually fishing. If the fish are holding shallow or you sight fishing to them from the bank, you can do so by using an intermediate or floating fly line. In many other cases, you want to fish deeper, and for that we use what we call a sinking fly line. Sinking lines come in a wide range of tapers and sink rates. For instance, an intermediate line, which is also a kind of sinking line, sinks at a rate of 1.5 inches per second. Now, this may be influenced by the relative density of the water, the length of your leaders, and the weight of the flies that you attach to the end of your tippet. 2 good sinking lines that you need to get is a DR3 and a DR5. The DR3 sinks around 3 inches per second and will probably be the one that you'll be using the most. Every so often you'll want to go deeper as the fishing gets tougher or slower and the fish hold deeper, and then a DR5, which sinks at around 5 inches per second, works the best. After making the cast, pick up all the slack from the cast as quickly as possible so that you're in contact with the flies. Then pinch the fly line against the grip so that you can detect any takes on the drop. Now, as soon as the fly line lands on the water, start counting. In this way, we can time where our flies are fishing. Vary the duration you're allowing the flies to sink until you start getting bumps or eats from fish. Now you know where the fish are holding, so you can easily replicate this cast after cast. So you've made the cast and allowed the flies to sink to where you want to fish. Now we need to start retrieving the flies. So what is the best retrieve to use? That's like asking how long is a rope. It's a very hard question to answer. The first one I'd like to cover is called the figure of 8 retrieve. It takes some practice, but once you get it right, you're able to vary the speed and intensity of the jerks with great control. In essence, you're folding the line in a figure of 8 while retrieving, creating small, steady movements with your flies. It's a great retrieve to use with nymphs such as chronomids or buzzers and damselflies. One of my favorite retrieves to use is a very long and slow strip. As you make that strip, the flies rise steadily through the water column, and when you stop, they just go down into the water column, but you're in contact most of the time. A great retrieve for any predatory fish is short, quick jerks, and I found that trout especially love it. I also make use of this retrieve when fishing jig buggers in rivers. The idea is to keep a constant rhythm, which works really great if you're using flies with a lot of movement, like flies incorporating marabou or zonker strips. If you get a bite with this retrieve, it's usually in the form of a solid knock, so make sure you have soft hands during the hook set, especially if you're using light tippet. One of the best retrieves to use when you really need to speed things up is the underarm retrieve. After making the cast, place the rod under your arm. Now you have 2 hands to create a very frantic and fast-paced retrieve. Once again, be light on the set because the fish really hit you hard when using this retrieve. So you've made the cast, you've allowed the flies to sink, you've brought the flies back with a nice retrieve, and now I can just recast. Just hang on a moment. There's a very sneaky technique called fishing the hang, and it works especially well when used fast stripping techniques. How many times have you just lifted the fly out of the water, and as you do, there's a fish that turns right under the surface? This technique will convert those fish. After you've stripped the fly back and before you get to the end of your fly line, lift the rod slowly at a 45-degree angle and allow the flies just to rest there for the moment. Many times the fish will follow it, especially when using a fast retrieve. It will follow it all the way up to the boat or to the bank, and as soon as they come to rest, it eats it. I hope that this video helps you catch more fish and that it answers some of the questions you might have had around stillwater fishing. If you have any other comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I would love to get back on a follow-up video to answer those questions. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications. Then we can let you know as soon as we release any future tutorials. Until next time, cheers.